Arkin from Iowa, Chairman of the Subcommittee on Labor, Health and Human Services, Education-related agencies. Thank you everyone for attending this hearing. I know that the people of the great state of Iowa are watching closely today, especially those who rely on the $5.8 million that Title X provides to Planned Parenthood in Iowa for health examinations, counseling, and care. For today's meeting, we will be having Health and Human Services Secretary Sebelius speak, followed by Ms. Glantz, a representative from the Family Research Council, and concluding with Ms. Aberbrook, a representative for Planned Parenthood. We hope that today's meeting will convey the importance and necessity in increasing funding to Title X. I know that my fellow Iowans back home are eager to see whether or not they will have access to free STD tests and treatment, breast cancer and cervical cancer screenings, contraceptives, vaccinations, family planning services, and educational outreach programs for this coming fiscal year. I'm now going to welcome Secretary Sebelius as a witness. We're going to start under opening statement.
The goal of Title X of the Public Health Service Act is to lay the foundation for effective family planning by providing the necessary information and services to low-income individuals and families. For the past 40 years, Title X has provided a broad array of services that are crucial to a client's sexual and reproductive health. Services include pelvic, breast, high blood pressure, anemia and diabetes exams, life-saving screening and treatment for cancer and STDs, and safer sex counseling. There are public fund programs instituted that issue family planning services such as Medicaid and CAN Act. However, Title X is the only federal program whose focus is reproductive health care. Over the last 2 decades, services performed at clinics with Title X funds have prevented 20 million unintended pregnancies and 5.5 million adolescent pregnancies. Without it, there would have been 20% more completed pregnancies during that time period. This is an essential program that provides health care to millions of people each year and saves taxpayers' money.
Secretary Sebelius, I want to thank you for joining us here today. Mr. Chairman, thank you for leading this important debate and discussion about how the proposed budget will affect the women of our country in a very dramatic and troubling way. You know, Secretary Sebelius, I've been very proud recently to work with my colleagues on efforts to get our economy back on track and our workers back on the job. We all know that we've got a long way to go, and that's why I'm very disappointed that at the moment that we need to be working together to plan our future, to cut spending responsibly, and help struggling American families, House Republicans have decided to take a very harsh approach to a budget that would ultimately devastate our country and our economy and cost us hundreds of thousands of jobs. So, Secretary Sebelius, I'm here this afternoon with my colleagues to talk about that aspect of the budget proposal that they sent to us. Because this assault on women's health will be truly devastating if it is enacted. And this extreme agenda does nothing, absolutely nothing, to further our goals of getting our economy back on track. Secretary Sebelius, the proposed budget that they sent us completely eliminated Title X funding, as House Republicans are under the common belief that eliminating Title X completely will help save our economy. Is this true?
I don't think that, getting rid of Title X funding will help our economy at all. Actually, it will come into misconception, if anything, it will hurt the economy. People don't realize that for every dollar allocated to family planning services, we save an estimated $3 that would otherwise be spent in Medicaid costs.
Great. Thank you, Secretary Sebelius. And as you mentioned, Title X is funding for family planning and teen pregnancy prevention, but the proposed budget from the House includes an amendment that completely denied funding for Planned Parenthood. Around how many women depend on these services, would you say?
Every year, Title X serves more than 4 million men and women in every state who might otherwise not be able to afford the attention they need.
Thank you. You know, Secretary Sebelius, I recently got a letter from one of these women. Her name is Kathy. She lives in Bellingham, Washington, and she's 28 years old. Kathy told me that she's uninsured and she depends on her local Planned Parenthood for annual checkups, as well as for family planning. She also told me that cervical and breast cancer run in her family, and she does not know what she and her husband would do if she was unable to access this care provider. So, Secretary Sebelius, what will Kathy do without her access to local Planned Parenthood, let alone any other service providers? In other words, what will our nation look like without Title X?
Eliminating funding for the National Family Planning Program will result in millions of men and women across the country losing access to basic healthcare services. Without Title X, more women will experience unintended pregnancies and face potentially life-threatening cancer and other diseases that could have been prevented. A 1995 study by the Institute of Medicine found that a woman with an unintended pregnancy is less likely to seek early prenatal care and is more likely to expose her fetus to harmful substances such as alcohol and tobacco.
So you're saying this would harm these women?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. And I mean, Kathy is not alone. I've received hundreds of letters just like hers, women telling me about health care that they got with parenthood and the critical services that Title X allows them to access. In my home state alone, family planning services at Title X funded healthcare sectors prevent over 21,000 unintended pregnancies every year. Without these services, our states and the federal government would end up spending far more in services for low-income families in the long run. So, cutting off these important programs would be wrong. Just one final question, Secretary Sebelius. There are some Americans who are opposed to Title X and all the exceptional and necessary programs it funds due to their belief that Title X, that is, government funding, is also funding abortion. Does this argument have any credibility?
Absolutely not. People think that this is true, but it's not. Excuse me, because the Hyde Amendment specifically denies any of this funding to go to abortion. It's strictly off limits.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Murray, and I'm now going to give Senator Cochran the opportunity, 4 minutes, to interview Secretary Sebelius. So when you're ready, Senator.
All right. Hello. I'm Thad Cochran, and I am a Republican senator from Mississippi. A few questions for you here today. Okay, so you're a governor of one of the largest anti-abortion states, which is Kansas, and still you voted no on bills for anti-abortion laws in 2003, 2005, 2006, and again in 2008. When I was looking at who made the largest campaign contributions to you when you were running for governor of Kansas, I realized that I realized that one of the largest was George Tiller, who was the medical director of an abortion clinic and was responsible for more than 60,000 abortions. And there are allegations that your view on abortion was tainted by those donations. What are your views on those allegations?
I think I am pro-choice, and I want to give women the option to decide what to do with their bodies. I am not in favor of legislation that would take that away from them. I think that they should have every right to decide what to do with themselves, and we're just trying to help them out here. That's all.
Okay.
All we want to do.
Okay, well then, Tiller was then shot in the head on May 31st, 2009. Do you feel in any way responsible for the violence in Kansas and results from your lawmaking policies?
I mean, I think there is an outbreak, like backlash regarding any legislation, but I'm just trying to do the best thing for women right now.
Okay, so it's fair to say that you're a strong and passionate supporter of abortions.
I am pro-choice.
Okay. At first I believed that when I read an article off CNN.com. Chris Donahue once said, Sebelius' support for abortion is so off the charts that she has been publicly criticized by the last 3 archbishops of Kansas City. But the liberal group Catholics United has come to Sebelius' defense, saying the Kansas governor has taken several steps to lower abortion rates in our state. The group has also posted excerpts of a 2006 speech in which Sebelius said she opposed abortion. Here's the quote. My Catholic faith teaches me that all life is sacred, and personally I believe abortion is wrong. Now I kind of find that a little bit hypocritical, but if you can explain it, go ahead.
Discrimination has gone down in my home state of Kansas, and I think that is due to my, again, wanting to give women the right to do what they want with their bodies. I will not let my religion interfere with lawmaking because I think they're 2 separate things should not be mixed together.
Yeah, but you said right here that my Catholic faith teaches me that all life is sacred.
All right,
And that's
Senator
basically-
Cochran, I think Secretary Sebelius has made clear her position and how she's able to separate her religion.
What caused
and-
the change in stance?
I think that